my ideal app would be a solution where in the command room you can see the situation from the field or the scene of the accident as if you're sitting there yourself. And even better, combining all these different solutions using sensor data. You have the blueprints of a building, you see thermal images, and potentially you could even see through walls and through smoke. And getting all this visibility and the location of your operational staff is something that would be and will be very awesome in the future.
I think the really interesting thing what we have seen already for the first movers today, but which we could bring to a lot more other users, is to have integrated applications. So you have situational awareness, you can see what's happening, you can see all the incidents, all the units, you can get access to all the information you need. And really I would say that the ideal application is an integrated one where you get access to all the information you need instead of having some silos. Some information is here and some information is on other device. And if you have access to these applications from all the devices you have, then you always have access whatever network or whatever device you are using.
A couple of technologies that I think are very interesting are augmented reality and virtual reality. We actually got a demo in our booth that is virtual reality combined with eye tracking for commands. So we're using an Oculus Rift to bring in a command center. So you're looking at 6 different video screens plus a couple of communication screens for push to talk. And with your eyes, you're actually doing commands on what screen to go into, how do you zoom in without your hands. So if you think about first responders, when you got a command center that has to go mobile, you can actually extend the commander and put him on the side of the first responder. So the demo actually has a first responder wearing glasses where he's capturing video. And as a commander using the virtual reality, I'm there. I'm looking at what the first responder's looking at, and as I tilt my head, I'm actually looking at what's around you. So that's incredible in an emergency situation. In the next 2 years, you're going to see virtual reality come into play in the consumer world, and especially in gaming, you're going to see it kind of ramp up. As it gets acceptance, I think within the next 5 years, you're going to see applications coming in within the public safety space.
Well, we're starting to see them now. So some of the first applications are applications of UAVs to do surveillance work, search and rescue. We see applications, say, in mountain rescue, coastal rescue, where you can send a drone, where before you needed a manned helicopter, bad weather, it would take time, it might not be available, people's lives would be at risk. A simple drone could be launched from the back of a police car, flown around to see where the victims were and the best way of rescuing them. They could be equipped with these cameras on ambulances to treat roadside victims. It could be augmented reality for firefighters trying to go into burning buildings and navigating their way around a smoke-filled room. And maybe augmenting that reality with infrared detectors to see where people may be unconscious and they could be rescued. So those things are already starting to appear. I think it will accelerate, and I think the costs and availability will be driven down. The choice of equipment and the quality and reliability of that will only increase with time. So I think it's a very exciting place to be.
Speaking from my point of view, certainly yes, there is the interesting opportunities, and this isn't today, this is 5 and 10 years down the road, is the whole virtual reality and augmented reality capabilities. Quite clearly we've got a long way to go before we get to that, but we have the capability now to put a lot of content into the virtual environment, and in doing that, it enables us to feed the correct, more interesting and more augmented data or information to the users in a very effective way. What is now based in a building or in a vehicle on screens has the potential to be taken off the screens and put into virtual reality glasses and then controlled in a different way, for instance with eye movements rather than mouse and keyboard. So there is that opportunity, but I must stress, we are a long way from that. LTE is coming along. We need LTE to be able to broadcast that information. So before you can put virtual reality out onto the street, you would undoubtedly need to be able to have those networks in place. So there's a lot of back-end work that needs to be done first, but we certainly can see a day, again, 10, 15 years down the road, where that may well be where we're going.